Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the posting of the colors. Uniform personnel, present arms. Uniform personnel, order, arms. All right, everybody, please be seated. Well, first of all, I want to welcome everybody to the 2010 Meritorious Service Awards here with the Spokane Fire Department. To get things started, I would like to introduce Bob Smith for the prayer and invocation.
This is always a very special evening, and I was thrilled here a few years ago when the department and fire service began to do this to honor our meritorious service, and because there's much of it, and you'll hear those stories and see those tonight. But every year it seems to get a little more special, and it's just a great way to bring value to people that we don't always value as much as they need to be. I want to thank each of you for coming. We're going to begin by remembering some retired members of fire service here in Spokane community, and then I'm going to open us with a word of prayer. There will be the ringing of the bell. I'll read the names, and then we will have the bell ring in their memory. Our retired members are Lieutenant Kenneth Bai, Firefighter Mel Mestany, and Captain Wayne Emmel. Would you bow? God, I want to thank you for these men who serve so faithfully. God was honored here just recently at the Washington State Fire Chiefs Association as these names were read as men who were no longer with us, who committed themselves. And Lord, we just remember. Lord, their retirement is far more than just from service here. It is from families and loved ones as they've entered into your presence. And so we commit them to your care, their keeping. We thank you for their living, their lives, their service. And Lord, as we come now to honor meritoriously others that are faithful in discharging their duties in our community, would you bless the proceedings? Thank you for family and loved ones that are gathered here as we commit our evening to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Now I'd like to introduce Chief Williams.
Thank you all very much for being here tonight. I'm Bobby Williams, Chief of the Spokane Fire Department, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to our third Meritorious Service Awards banquet. This is something that we started as a joint venture a few years ago between our bargaining groups and fire administration to recognize not only the citizens in the community who have helped their fellow citizens and helped the fire department, but also to recognize the members of our department who have gone beyond the call of duty and done things that we are very appreciative of in this last year. The awards that we'll recognize tonight have been in the calendar year of 2009. So we will have a chance to recognize the members of our department who have retired, and we have quite a number who have retired, to recognize their many years of service. We will recognize those who've been promoted in the last year, and then we will also make the special recognitions to our citizens and members of our department. We know that there's a lot of things going on, particularly as graduation approaches and school comes to an end. So we thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us tonight, and we hope you enjoy the ceremony. We will certainly do our best to keep it moving right along and not be too lengthy. I want to make some acknowledgments initially to say hi and thanks for folks being here tonight and for their roles in putting this ceremony together. First off, I want to recognize the members of our command staff that are here on the front row from the fire department, our battalion chiefs. We have all of them with us tonight, and some of our division chiefs as well on this side of the office, this side of the row. I also want to recognize, and I'll introduce him in just a minute, Mark Vetsky, our president of Local 29. Dan Brown is our president of SAFO, our two labor groups. I certainly want to acknowledge all the hard work that's been done by our general staff in putting this together. They know who they are, Lori, Sue, everybody, Bob Cubbage, everybody that's worked very hard to make sure we had all the details and invite everyone to be here tonight. So thanks to them. Bob Smith has been with us for over 25 years as our chaplain now, and he is just a blessing for our department. And Bob, thank you as always for being a part of this ceremony. And we know that our council members wanted to be with us tonight, but they had other commitments. The mayor is going to try to stop by in a few minutes to be with us, and we look forward for her to be here. But thanks to all of you for being with us tonight. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce for some special recognitions on behalf of Local 29, the president of Local 29, Mark Vitsky. He's going to also recognize his executive board, and thanks to them for being here tonight. Mark?
Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to acknowledge Mike Bacon, our Secretary-Treasurer, Don Waller, John Griffiths out there, Dan Strobeck, and let's see, Thad Frater, and we're missing Frank Wood and John Goodman this evening. I'm Mark Vitsky, as the chief said, and I'm the president of Local 29. Each year we have the opportunity to present a meritorious service award for somebody that's done exceptional work with the local and for the past year. And the individual that we're honoring tonight not only did a lot of work in the last year, he did a lot of work for the last 24 years. We're recognizing Greg Borg. He served in the union as an executive board member and as a state rep for many years, and also as our president of the local for the last 9 years. Greg is anybody that knows Greg knows how passionate he is about the fire service. He sleeps, breathes, and eats it. And he took that same approach when representing the members from the local. So Greg can't be here tonight. He is on a European vacation with his wife, with the Griswolds, I don't know. But anyway, with that being said, and him not being able to make it, he did send a couple people that he felt would be a good choice to accept the award for him. And that is his son, Peter Borg, who works for the city of Spokane in the refuse department, and Jeremy Bunny, who is a District 9 firefighter and a member of their executive board. And with that said, if you guys could come forward and accept the 2009 Local 29 Service Award. Also, as a tradition, anybody that served on our local, we honor them and give them a plaque for appreciation of year's service. This last year, we had kind of a clean sweep of our executive board. Some guys that have been involved for a long time decided to step down. All three of them served around 10 years as executive board members, which is a huge commitment and a lot of time put in. The only one that was able to make it tonight was Dan Renner, and if you could come up and accept your award, I'd appreciate it. And the others are Darryl Wisniewski and Greg Hoff, and they were unable to attend.
Well, while tonight we will recognize a number of individuals, everything that we do in the fire department is a team-oriented effort. When we respond to emergencies, we operate in teams. When we work together on projects, we operate as teams. So teams are very important, and we're very appreciative of the team effort, the family nature that we have within our department. I think anybody you'll talk to, if you're not familiar with the fire service, who has been a part of the fire service, will talk about family and talk about how we are a large family and a very welcoming family. And we're very, very glad that members of our family, both new members that are part of receiving awards tonight, as well as our day-to-day members, are here with us tonight, and we're very much appreciative of that. In the last year, we have had an opportunity to accomplish a few things that I just wanted to comment on briefly. It's been through the work of many, many people on the job. Some of them will be recognized tonight for their efforts. In the last year, we've had, as I said earlier, a number of retirements, and we've had a lot of promotions. We have a number of people that have stepped up in the organization for their new promotions, and we're proud of their efforts, and we're proud of their accomplishments so far, and we look forward to what they will accomplish in their future years to come. We have just finished, and did finish last year, a combined recruit school that we did with Fire District 1, the Valley Fire Department. We have been in a regional recruit school for a number of years. We always welcome new employees when they graduate and get a chance to get in the field. And we are very glad for all the training staff and the hard work that was done by them in getting those folks in the field this last year. Our department has been featured in a number of magazine articles throughout the United States over this last year, and we're proud of that for the work that folks have done to get us recognized. We had the good fortune of being able to purchase with some dollars that were left over from bond dollars from the 1999 fire bond, some new engines, and we put those new engines in service last year. And a special part of putting those in service was a tribute to the personnel within our department who have died in the line of duty. We have now started a tradition within our department that anytime we get a new apparatus, we are recognizing on the rear officer side compartment of that apparatus the name of an individual that passed in the line of duty and the years in which they served the department, as a tribute to them and their family for the commitments that they made to our city and our organization. So that was a new tradition that we started this year, and we're very, very proud of that. We were very fortunate to get a grant from the United States Fire Administration, FEMA grant, for new breathing apparatus, and we were able to put those through a lot of work and effort of a very strong committee, put that behind us and get those in service just in the last few months, but most of that effort went on in 2009. And then we were involved very much with the large skating event that went on in Spokane. Very, very big event, very successful event for our community, for the skating world. And you don't think about what goes on behind the scenes, but there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to get our community ready for that. And of course, we had to have emergency plans in place for that. So a lot of things went on in this last year that were very, very important to our organization. And for many of you that are guests tonight, you may not recognize on a day-to-day basis what goes on through our department. We contract dispatching services for all of the other districts in Spokane County. So our dispatchers dispatch about 125 incidents every day. Our personnel in the city of Spokane respond to about 75 to 80 incidents every day. Almost 85% of those are emergency medical incidents. And our support staff that help behind the scenes to make sure that the trucks keep running and the training goes on and the people get paid and bills get paid are all a key part of our overall team within the fire department. So we're very proud of all of those things. We're very proud, and the phrase that I use on a regular basis when I'm speaking before the city council and members of the public is that our department makes a difference in lives in Spokane every day. We truly believe that because we truly do that, and we're very, very proud of those efforts. I would also, even though they're not here tonight, like to say a special thanks to our elected officials, because without the support that they give us, the budget that they give us between the mayor and our council members, we would not be able to be here to serve the public. So we're very, very appreciative of their efforts, and finally appreciative of the support that we receive from the public, whether it's going for bond issues, whether it's going for EMS levies. All of those things are essential to us to be able to provide the critical service each and every day that our personnel put on the street in the city of Spokane. So again, we're proud of them. We're going to honor them and citizens tonight. And before we get started with recognizing the retirements from last year, we have a short video. We are very fortunate within our department to have an audiovisual technician, Dean Piercy, and Dean has put together about a 4.5-minute recap of some of the things that went on within the Spokane Fire Department this last year. So we'll dim the lights and sit back and enjoy.
You never know. Like I say, you never know. You're driving down the street, you're walking down the street, you never know.
It's a call that any parent dreads.
I was on my way to school. I go to SEC and I get a phone call from one of the leaders that they had just got in a car accident.
Patty Hernandez's daughter was riding on one of these Northeast Youth Center vans on her way to school when witnesses say one of the two vans suddenly stopped. The second van rear-ended it.
The driver in the van, she said that there was a little boy that rushed down the street on a bike and that she had to stop. So the way she stopped, and then the next van behind her, didn't have enough time because it happened within 2 seconds.
The vans were dropping off 19 students at Regal and Logan elementary schools. Traffic was rerouted as Spokane police and fire crews and emergency personnel helped the victims.
I've seen a lot of accidents and such, but never this many emergency vehicles.
Colin Garcia was in one of the vans, one of only 4 kids in the accident whose injuries were so minor,
Just that.
he didn't have to go to the hospital.
It was really scary, and I don't want to go back in the van.
Colin says it happened fast, without warning.
It was really loud.
Kids screaming and crying.
They asked us if we're okay, and they asked us a few questions.
And now he's back with his dad.
It was the wicked and wild wind blew down the doors to let me in. the shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. And revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate just above.
Witnesses tell us it was more like an inferno at one point. Now this business is T&R Party and Event Rental. It is a complete loss.
I hear Jerusalem bells ring.
Witnesses say it started just before 9 o'clock. Anthony Dorman was working next door when he saw 5 people jumping from a second-story window and down to a landing.
Looked like they were in desperate need to get out of there, and then I saw the flames shooting up and out of there.
The fire department says 7 people were inside that building trying to get out of the weather. Investigators say they're getting conflicting stories as to why the fire was started with so many people inside the abandoned building.
I looked out the window and there's a guy yelling fire, you need to get out.
Tenants run for their lives after this fire breaks out at a South Hill Spokane apartment complex.
When the truck company opened that roof, we had a lot of fire coming out of there.
And the fire kept coming. It gutted the second level of this building at the Regal Ridge Apartments. Firefighters blasted it from below and cut holes in the roof to vent the flames. In less than half an hour, it was upgraded to a 3-alarm fire. Crews from all over town headed here.
We later upgraded it to a 3rd alarm, primarily because we knew we were going to be pulling a lot of ceiling to work on the fire in the attic.
12 of the 17 crews in Spokane headed to 53rd and Regal to help. In the end, a firewall in the building held the flames at bay and gave firefighters a chance to gain the upper hand.
I was going to ask you to clap because Dean is actually in the control room taking pictures and monitoring all this, so that if you could do it again, just because it's Dean and we like him so much, please. Okay, this is a pretty formal event for those of you that aren't in the fire department. You would looking out from the outside in, it looks pretty formal. We're all dressed up, but completely informal when it comes to taking pictures and making sure that everybody gets the shots that they want. We're going to go through a couple sets of recognitions. The first one will be the retirements, I believe. Yes, it is. And in the retirement part of this, we're going to have Local 29 as well as the fire chief present those members that retired this year. And what I'd like to do is call them up individually and then have them just stand right in front of the podium and almost in an assembly line fashion so we can get everybody together and take one big picture and recognize them all together. So I'd ask Mark and the fire chiefs, Hannah and Leavenworth as well, everybody to come up. And so if I read your name, you have to come forward. Fire Lieutenant Rich Scanlon, Fire Equipment Operator Robert Watson, Firefighter Rex Peterson, Fire Captain Max Klinger, Fire Equipment Operator Tom Overhauser, Fire Equipment Operator Sid Hoots. You can't miss Sid. Oh, there he is. Fire Lieutenant Bill Jackman, Fire Lieutenant Ray Maxwell, Fire Lieutenant Terry Smith, Fire Battalion Chief Mike Inman, Fire Equipment Operator Jim McCorgy. Jim, there he is. Fire Captain Ken Schneider, Firefighter Ken Knutson, Fire Lieutenant Roy Rudell. And yeah, I'll actually let you explain that.
Just so you'll know what we're presenting, we present each of the retired members from the city a plaque with appreciation for their years of service. We also give them a retired firefighter badge with an ID that they can carry with them and remember the organization. And then the local has a presentation as well.
Each of our retirees gets a plaque with an axe embedded in it. And I'd just like to read what it says here. It says, "The membership of Spokane Firefighters Union takes great pride in honoring you for your many years of service in the Spokane Fire Department and your membership in Local 29. Your place in the Spokane Fire Department has been taken by another, but you and your contribution to the department and Local 29 will never be forgotten by your union brothers and sisters.
Yeah, if you guys didn't catch that, he told me we're finally at the same height. I have a few gray hairs from Sid. It's like going shopping. So feel free, if you guys want to come up and take pictures, now would be a good time. They're all together, and we'll definitely take a few moments to do that. Oh, yeah, you have to get close and personal. Yeah, thank you very much, you guys. I just had a moment to chat with Mike because I haven't seen him in a while. And I had his permission to mention this, but those of you that, again, that aren't firefighters realize that the job that we do, we're exposed to carcinogens on a daily basis. In fact, we live with them. We live with them in the stations. We live with them in our jobs, on our job. And Mike, as soon as he retired, was diagnosed with cancer. And Mike, after treatment, is a cancer survivor. And he's one of the incredible ones out there. So a round of applause for Mike. Okay, next we're going to recognize the Spokane Fire Department members who have achieved promotions throughout 2009. We ask again that you come up to the stage, just like we did last time, and file in. It's a long list. And I'm going to skip the ranks and just go through the names. Chad Childers, Justin Hughes, Patrick Burchell, Brett Hatcher, Mike Miller, Tom Jurgen, Laura Thurston, Ryan Redding, Thad Frater, Jason Reeser, Kyle Chase, Dan Renner, James Frederick, Bob Hanna, Dave Hayworth, Mike Rose, John Troutman, Dave Heiser, Terry Canfield, Dennis Poley, Greg Hoff, Frank Wood, Russ Butters, Alex Mitchell. I always mess that up. Thank you. It's a personal thing. He was injured at a fire one time, and I probably spent 20 minutes in the ER with him just trying to figure out Mick Mitchell. So I apologize, Alex. Yep, thank you, sir. Scott Klein, Doug Dotson, and John Kolb. Ladies and gentlemen, these are promoted members of 2009. This next part is new to the Spokane Fire Department's award process. We're actually entering into somewhat of a new service delivery model, and it's called CARES. It's an acronym for the Community Assistance Response Team. And it was created to fill a gap between our traditional services like putting out fires and applying Band-Aid to people that need it, and social needs such as helping customers get services like wheelchairs, food, and contacts to other public social agencies. The CARES team provides immediate, high-quality crisis intervention, emotional support, and referral of services to community members who are faced with trauma or crisis. The following CARES team members contributed individually over 600 of volunteer hours to the community through this program. On Friday, in fact, 5 of our team members will graduate with a master's degree in social work, and 2 members will graduate with a bachelor's degree in social work, all from Eastern Washington University. I told them that they had to do a 20-minute speech. We're all expecting that, too. So at this point, I'm going to call out their names and ask again that you guys come up front and be recognized and receive awards from the chief. First of all, Jessica Tellez, Keely Barton, Bobby Richmond, Jim McDonald, Rachel Janes, Justin Johnson, and Tasha Hansen. These people are pretty amazing, and again, they're expanding. Every year we continue to get a little bit bigger. I'll get out of the way. I'd ask that the union and the fire chief, we just had a Max Klinger. Where are you, Max? I heard, yeah. Ron Klinger. You get your own recognition for retirement last year. Yeah. Max was a station captain at Station 15. Pretty well left a legacy at 15s in the Hilliard neighborhood. Oh. Thanks a lot, Max. Now comes the exciting part, the part where we get the opportunity to recognize those stories that are pretty incredible this year. The awards and recognitions that we're going to talk about, again, occurred within the calendar year of 2009. And this process was developed initially from a labor management partnership with Local 29, Spokane fire officers, SAFO, and fire administration, because we thought it was important to not only capture the good stuff that our folks do in the field in prevention and all the ancillary support divisions, but also everything that you guys do as citizens, because you do make a difference in Spokane every day, and we're proud to be part of that. So with that, I'll start off with the Citizen Community Life-Saving Award. The criteria for the award is the award itself may be granted to any member of the community who aids in saving the life of another within the city of Spokane. We have 13 Community Life-Saving Awards this year, first time ever that we've had this many. The first recipients are Spokane Police Officer Jeffrey Graves and Officer Ryan Snyder. The story is on, come on up. On August 6, 2009, Engine 4 responded to a call for a reported person in seizure. While the engine was en route, dispatch updated responders with the information that police officers were already on the scene and were performing CPR. Officers Graves and Snyder were in the area of the call and stopped to find a patient which was not only in seizure, but they were actually pulseless and non-breathing. Both officers on their own initiated CPR and were directly responsible for saving the young man's life. Upon Engine 4's arrival, this patient was still not breathing, however. He did have spontaneous circulation and did survive to this day. So Officer Jeffrey Graves is here. Officer Snyder, I believe, is probably on the street protecting the rest of us, but we wanted to say thank you. The next recipients are Spokane citizens Laura Ray and Timothy Ward. It was a day, August 22nd, a male was swimming in a backyard pool when he drowned and sank to the bottom. He was pulled out of the pool by bystanders. He was unresponsive and not breathing. Laura Ray and Tim Ward immediately began CPR while other witnesses called 911. When Engine 16, which is the closest engine in the neighborhood, arrived, the patient was breathing and semi-conscious. Now, realize that when they started CPR, the patient was clinically dead. There was no pulse, there was no breathing. They rescued him from the pool, they started CPR, and due to their quick action and effective pre-arrival CPR, the victim was resuscitated and his life has been saved. You may start seeing a theme as we go to number 3 here. The next recipients include Spokane citizens Brian Underhill, Joanne Underhill, Warren Anderson, and Michael Goldman. On June 6, our pumper ladder 13 from Station 13 was dispatched to a possible drowning on North Bradbury. When they arrived on scene, the victim had been rescued from the bottom of the pool by Michael Goldman and Warren Anderson. Once he was out of the water, Brian Underhill and Joanne Goldman responded immediately by providing the victim two-person CPR. All 4 citizens' actions, together as a team, were directly responsible for the successful resuscitation of this victim, alive today, due to these 4 people. So, ladies and gentlemen, these. All right. Again, same thing, same theme. On May 4th, a citizen collapsed on a sidewalk in front of the Bank of America building downtown. The citizen suffered a sudden cardiac arrest and again was clinically dead on the sidewalk in downtown Spokane. Fortunately, a passerby, Brian Bowsert, which is Brian here by chance, when we do the research on these types of awards, I actually have our investigators, which are commissioned police officers. Jimmy Bowen is here representing them. They actually go and try to find these people. Those of you receiving awards, you know, because we get a telephone call from an investigator and wonder what the heck's going on. Brian is homeless, and his actions were completely, he had no responsibility to respond, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And we weren't able to find him. He is homeless in Spokane, and we had a really hard time just catching up with him in the computer. So unfortunately, he's not able to be here. But he was assisted by 2 security guards, Dan Brown and James Sanders, which initiated CPR. Dan Brown and James Sanders, no relation to our Dan Brown. We'll have you guys come up. When the Spokane Fire Department paramedics arrived, which was Engine 1 from Station 1 downtown, the victim received advanced cardiac life support treatment and eventually survived this event and walked out of Deaconess Hospital a couple weeks later. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Brown and James Sanders. I never could whistle either. I never could figure it out. Okay, this is a tearjerker. Last but not least, on January 28th, Spokane Engine 1 was dispatched to a reported unconscious female. The patient was located on the campus of Gonzaga in one of the gyms. The fitness center assistant director, Carrie Conger, immediately recognized the gravity of the situation and took action. She started CPR and was assisted by Joe Morales, which is a resident of San Antonio and wasn't able to be here tonight. When Engine 1 arrived, they continued CPR, started advanced life support intervention, and were able to successfully resuscitate this incredible young lady. So Tori, would you come up and present this award? Tori is our survivor, and Carrie's our hero. Congratulations, you guys. Okay, don't go anywhere. Hold on, Andy, you need to come up. Andy is a paramedic. Oh, come back. That was responsible for putting this all together. And oh yeah, you guys are coming up. These guys, yeah. Andy made certain that that this story was told because it is an incredible story. And yeah, I can't say enough. I can't say enough about the company. I can't say enough about all 3 of them. Mike Bacon. This next story is, or this next award, I'm sorry, is a life-saving award. And the definition that we use for the award is it may be granted to any member of the Spokane Fire Department who saves the life of another while acting in an off-duty capacity and away from his or her normal duties with the city of Spokane. I'm going to ask Mike to come up because this employee, this is the second year that she's actually received an award, and she works with Mike. She's not able to be here tonight. Her name is firefighter Andrea Kernkamp. She was on a commercial flight home from Southern California when she answered a call for assistance from the airline staff for a medical emergency on board. What she found when she volunteered to help was a pretty dire situation. It was a small infant in respiratory and eventually cardiac arrest. For the next 42 minutes until the plane could land, Andrea, by herself, continued basic life support efforts on the infant until care was transferred to awaiting EMS personnel on the ground. She was recently involved in a pretty serious injury that we just found out about, so she's not able to be here. But in lieu of that, I think we can clap for Mike Bacon. Yeah. She's an amazing person. I wish she was here to receive the award, but Michael. Lastly, the Special Unit Citation Award. It's awarded to any unit within the department which has worked together towards a common goal. The citation is awarded for a specific performance of exceptional quality. This year, the unit citation is being awarded to the following personnel for their efforts in researching, purchasing, training, and implementing the department's new self-contained breathing apparatus. And if you're wondering what the heck that bunch of garbage means, it's the air that we carry on our backs. For those of you that probably saw some of the video, it's a big backpack with air in it, but it connects us to life. Without it, we don't live. So it's a pretty important piece of equipment. So this project came in under budget, under the timeline that we all put on the project, and has way exceeded our expectations from the fire chief's perspective, from all of our command leadership that's here. It was just an incredible effort from everybody that's involved. So I'll, again, name off the names and ask you to file right in front of the chief here. Jake Andrews, Paul Gortler, Corey Barker, Scott Himmelsbach, the real Dan Brown, Ron Weston, Aaron Goldman, Rich Williams, Dean Carr, Jim Billman, and Mike Johnson. While they're taking photos, has anybody seen Mark Starr? Anyone? Going once, twice? Okay. He snuck out of here. So that concludes our presentation and award ceremony. We want to congratulate all the award recipients, the retirees, the promoted members, and thank everybody for being with us tonight. Especially thanks to Tori for being an inspiration. If anybody is wondering, those of us that aren't in a uniform, that don't do this every day, if you haven't learned CPR yet, this would be a good time, good reason to sign up. We offer those classes all the time, free of charge, through the fire department. And she and several of the other people that we mentioned tonight are the reason why we do it. So please feel free to join us for refreshments in the lobby, and hope everybody has a safe night. Thanks a lot.